Pro Wrestling Weekly. For over 20 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment radio talk.
Is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
You really do sound like a
grizzled old vet. Is that where you were going with there?
Yes.
To not get you in trouble?
Oh, I'll get in trouble at some point. Believe me, I'll do something.
Well, to keep you out of trouble in this case, at least.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Ooh, I'm getting good at this radio thing.
Yeah. It only took you 5.5 years.
I'm not good at it yet. I'm starting.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Slowest escalator upward.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Twitch in studio.
It's about time.
It feels
Finally
like old times.
Finally made it back from that Pep Boys, Fearon.
Finally made it, yeah. It only took you a week.
Right?
Yeah, you just got here about a half hour before.
Yeah.
Man, that's the longest.
That checkout line was brutal. Really
that
was.
one person paying in pennies.
No, almost all. I was the only. I got to the front of the line. They're like, "Oh, thank God you have a card." Oh,
Oh, goodness. But no, good to have you back here in studio. And you picked a heck of a day to come on over here because, well, as our good friend Adrian said one time.
What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot.
Yeah, it is. It is a scorcher today.
yeah,
91 at the moment, going up to 99.
yeah.
But something else that's been rather hot has been the wrestling action over the course of the week. It's been a wild week, to say the least. I mean, between Extreme Rules, which I had the chance to be there live. I'll talk a little bit about that, as that was at the Wells Fargo Center. Also, the AEW Fight for the Fallen the night before, the Evolve 10th Anniversary show that was here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, MLW Fusion, Impact Wrestling, the New Japan G1 Climax tournament matches.
Yeah. Sunday night I was in Brooklyn, especially like the 20 celebrating 25 years of the wrestler Homicide being a professional wrestler. A lot of stuff going on last weekend in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, and one thing kind of keeping it, or bringing it back home and keeping it there, at least for a little bit here, the Evolve event saw a homecoming. You heard about that, right?
Bro.
I'm sure, yeah. Well, no, not just the King of Bros. No. Paul Heyman making a surprise appearance in the building that he and his crew made famous 20-plus years ago, the 2300 Arena, better known as the ECW Arena.
Oh,
If you don't mind, I'd like to hang around just a little bit, indulge, and ring announce the next match. Because 5 years from now, on YouTube or whatever the hot platform will be then, when you watch the video, you're going to play this match and you're going to say to yourselves, that was the moment we all knew this industry is going to evolve.
Pun 100% intended.
yeah. Yeah.
And Heyman would go on to ring announce for the title unification match between Austin Theory and JD Drake for the WWN and Evolve championships, won by Austin Theory.
Yeah. From all accounts I heard, it was a very, very good show. I'm very, very happy for Josh Briggs and Anthony Green, who
Yes.
we've had the privilege of sharing a locker room with. I can't be anything but happy for those two. They
set the tone for the night.
Yeah.
People always talk about curtain jerkers and things like that. No, there's
The opening match is one of the most important matches on the card, because it is, you're right, it sets the tone for the night. And if you can't have a good start to a show, like, people always say, oh, they should build, why is this match on first, this or that, because they, like, I understand why WWE opens the show with some big matches, because they need to have something to be like, wow, and be excited for the rest of the night. Like, if that's what we got first, can you imagine what's going to happen in the main event? Like,
yeah, it gives you the indication this is something that you want to stick around and watch, as opposed to most people, they go, this is what I paid $9.99 a month for, and just figure, it's Evolve, it's not WWE, it's whatever. So they definitely had they had to do due diligence in making sure that they set things up with something great, something attention-grabbing.
yeah, and I'm sure that they did.
Yeah, I did get the chance. There was so much that it was hard to keep track of it all. I did see at least a little bit of Fight for the Fallen as well.
Cody and Goldust versus the Bucks, I heard, was awesome.
Yeah, that a little bit of it was kind of some familiarity for me, as I was actually, this was a bit of a pre-gaming with the self-professed Fugazi sports entertainment fan, Mike Samsel. Yeah, he and I ended up going to...
He's not even a Fugazi wrestling fan anymore? He's just...
Well, no, he is a wrestling fan. He's just a self-professed Fugazi sports entertainment fan.
Right.
He is very not in on WWE, although he was thoroughly sports entertained this past Sunday.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it was very good and very interesting to be around him and seeing him very notably cheer some of those who pretty much everybody else was booing.
Such as?
Oh gosh, where do I? Where I'm just kind of going up and down the list here to see who were some of the biggest. I know Samoa Joe was one of them.
I can understand him cheering on Samoa Joe.
Yeah, there were a couple where it was very polite, polite standing up and applauding. He wasn't being obnoxious necessarily, but
it's
just
a standing ovation.
Yes, a one-man standing ovation
for a man who essentially only guaranteed the safety of Kofi's family if he shook his hand. Right. That's something worth a standing ovation.
Well,
I can see why.
Given the response, I mean, the half a Stone Cold salute.
It was warranted.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's something that certainly can go back and forth.
I'm not gonna lie. You if someone told me, hey, if someone was so arrogant as to say, your whole family will be safe as long as you shake my hand, I'd take them bird watching as well.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I do see what you did there. So looking into Extreme Rules a little bit more, something that kind of it caught us by surprise a little bit, and more so because it didn't make the main show. The pre-show match, one of two, the Intercontinental Championship, unannounced previously, and I think had they announced it, this would have definitely put a few more butts in the seats. Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, they the fact that they unannounced this had not announced this was disappointing. And it was a pre-show match?
It was a pre-show match. Did you not know this?
No, I didn't know that it was a pre-show match.
Ah, okay.
That makes it sort of worse, in my opinion. You put those two on the pre-show?
Well,
those two.
Maybe one of them had somewhere they had to be. I don't know. Sometimes you see that. I mean, we've seen way back in the day Hulk Hogan would work kind of earlier in the card because he had to leave for various reasons, brother. I don't know. Maybe Nakamura had to head back home and had to catch a red-eye flight. I don't know. I am grasping at straws to attempt to justify this.
Let's be fair. How important is surfing as opposed to... I don't know.
Surfing?
He likes to surf. Nakamura likes to surf.
Well, it's not like we're talking Sid going to a softball game here. Come on now.
Psycho Shin.
No. Although that being said, Nakamura did
Granted,
go on
that could also be in reference to Sid Vicious.
Oh.
Oh, don't be owing me now.
It gives me the shudders because I'm thinking of the basically snapped shin from the most dangerous rope, the second rope.
It is why it is the most dangerous rope, and no one wants to believe us. They all think we're joking. No. It is the most dangerous rope.
Yeah, you prepare for the top rope. You don't prepare for the second rope. But that notwithstanding, Nakamura went on to defeat Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship. Psycho Shin indeed.
Was the match, how long do you think the match went?
Well, I know exactly. Well, I should ask you that question because I was there live. I saw it. How long do you think the match went?
I would hope that. Well, this is the thing. I was hoping they would have gotten time if they were going to have this. That's what I liked about this being a pay-per-view match, was like they'd get time. They'd really get time.
How much time do you think they got? This is not an Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader question.
10, maybe?
A little less.
8?
The match went 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Just over 7.5. The look of...
I look like John C. McGinley when they tell him he has to stay in Vietnam in Platoon. That's the look I know exactly the look I'm giving on my face right now. Like...
Just a look of sheer disbelief, disgust,
1,000 yards,
embitterment.
Like,
yeah, it's just a blank 1,000-yard stare. That's more so for those like myself who haven't seen Platoon. Just, gotta... I understand, references are good, but making sure that the references are understood is even better.
Oh, don't worry. I have a picture of that face. I will put it up in the Facebook
I was going to
page.
say, yeah, because that's great for radio. Pictures. Anyway, the other pre-show match, to the shock of no one, the Cruiserweight title, which I thought it was a bit of a swerve. I was like, oh, they're going with the Intercontinental on the pre-show. They're actually going to put the Cruiserweight on the main. Nope.
The Cruiserweights as well. That, like, the triple threat match they had at Stomping Grounds was fantastic, and they got time. That triple threat match.
Yeah,
and you would think maybe, like...
Perhaps because they did 2 pre-show matches, they both had... around the same time of about 7.5 minutes.
Well, they had... I'm pretty sure they had...
It was a 1-hour pre-show. So they had to get in their time with a little table over there, and Sam Roberts in a burgundy-colored suit. Not a fan.
You say that with a lot of disdain.
Oh, absolutely. Stealing my gimmick, brother. But that notwithstanding, Drew Gulak retained the Cruiserweight Championship.
With his 1960s G.I. Joe consistency beard that he's got going on. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Wow.
The most accurate... That is one of the most accurate things I've ever... Like, comparisons I've ever made in my life.
Wow. You've left me speechless in a good way. It's one of the rare times in the last almost 6 years.
All right, we are approaching 6 years.
Yeah, a couple weeks away.
Being on the show.
Yeah, 2 weeks away.
Saga. The saga of the Fanspastic Saga.
The Fanspastic Saga.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the. I'm like, do I want to get to the main card? Or do we want to take care of? Do you want TCB first?
Do what you want to do, brother.
Yeah.
Man.
What is a format? I have no idea anymore. Yeah, we'll go through this. We'll go a little long here.
We don't need no stinking format.
No. As long as we start on time and end on time, the rest, it just kind of happens.
Chewing gum on time. All right, that was a stretch.
That was a stretch. I understand you were going for the Harvey Korman reference from Blazing Saddles.
I was going for... I try to do 2 Blazing Saddles references in a row. We don't need no stinking badges.
Okay, both kind of swung and missed. The second one I got because it was a little more blatant. The first one, moving on. So they opened the pay-per-view with a match that we thought would have been much later, but again, maybe somebody else had to be somewhere. Roman Reigns and The Undertaker against Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. No holds barred. And to the surprise of pretty much no one, Roman Reigns and The Undertaker won, and Taker looked pretty good. There was one part near the very end of the match where you could tell he was not happy with himself and had a rather not as disgusted as the Saudi shoehorn event look, but still...
You also had 3 other people in the match with you.
A little bit disgusted, and that was in terms of, I think it was Shane McMahon was kind of walking in and Taker was going to pick him up to set him up for the tombstone, but I guess the positioning was a bit off, couldn't quite lift him up, so they ended up having to putting him down, hitting him one more time, and then picking him up and setting him up appropriately. But I think that he was looking for that to be a little bit smoother than it was, and that led to
the look of disgust.
led to a look of frustration. Almost Bret Hart frustration, but
that's not the word for it.
No, it isn't the word for it. But yeah, we got that one correct. Next up, you had the Revival. Good old FTR, yep. Yeah. Defeating the Usos to retain the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
You and I got that right. Yeah. Mitch, not quite so much. Same thing with the Cruiserweight. You and I got that right, and Mitch, not quite so much. There's a couple of those that happened here, including the next match, Aleister Black and Cesaro, which that got about just under 10 minutes, so that was, I guess, the time that you were kind of looking for on the Nakamura-Balor match. But it definitely was all right, here's a little teaser, a little sample of what we can do.
I'm hoping.
I think that it was something that on paper a lot of people were like, oh, this could be the match of the night, and it certainly was really good.
Can't have them upstage my cruiserweights or my Roman Reigns. I can't have them upstage that.
You're yeah.
My Twitch McMahon's going senile. I'm sorry. Art imitating life, allegedly.
Wow. Just wow.
I had to save it somehow, Fearon.
And you did. No, that was a swooping in and scooping up Lois Lane like Superman save right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very well done. All right, moving on. So I'm curious that this is a complete aside because, we don't do those on this show.
Oh, distracted? Oh.
No.
Never.
But, I mean, given how there have been so many political correct renamings of things, how far are we away from renaming what we know as the handicap match? The 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 or anything of that nature? These are the things that keep me up at night.
I think that's a bit too far-fetched because a handicap match could mean so many things. You're at a disadvantage. That would mean you'd have to change handicap in bowling or in golf. And it's like...
Well, the reason I think of that is because earlier this year in Major League Baseball, what was known for a long time as the DL, the disabled list, they actually changed it to injured list or IL.
But...
So I don't know. I'm just. These are just things that I'm thinking about.
It's one of those things where everyone. You can't just. Now that's just taking it too far because it's like, I don't know how it could. They're not using it in a negative term, like in a negative connotation, or not offensive connotation. I mean,
well, to you. Maybe to somebody else, and that's the whole thing.
And
we're going to leave it. Yeah,
far fetched.
That was just me kind of. Open thoughts, take with it what you will.
At the same time, you can't just open the door and then just let us look through it, then shut it. No, I'm not going to go too far into this, but when you start to censor every little thing, the censorship sort of doesn't mean as much. When you try to, it's inflation of censorship, if anything.
Okay, it was just more of a, how likely do you think that I mean, it's something that's certainly possible, but is it likely?
Well, anything's
probably
possible
not
in this day and age. Unfortunately, I would hope, though, that perhaps they focus on something more that needs attention.
Yeah, it was something that crossed my mind in one of those comparative things, and how long is it before something like that goes? That's all right. Just again, a random aside. But that being said, the 2-on-1 match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, Bayley defeating the odds and in rather convincing fashion. And I think part of the reason for that was there was at least at one point when there was a brief 2-on-1 advantage for Bliss and Cross, where there was a rather audible chant in the crowd of "We want Sasha," referring to Sasha Banks.
Yeah. I know. I know exactly
and
what they were chanting for.
There was a part of me that was going, would they bring her back here? It would, yeah, it would, would
The
she be
pop
willing
that
to
they
come
would have
back?
gotten.
Oh,
No,
there would have definitely been a pop, even if it was just to, lend support or something along those lines. But it was not to be, and Bayley pretty much handled the 2-on-1 rather convincingly, and she ended up retaining the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah.
So I think now that we're about halfway through the pay-per-view and we've already gone pretty long on our first segment here, now I think is a good time to take the first time out. We'll go over the second half of Extreme Rules. Plenty of news and notes to get into as well. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Here's another What's It Worth Antique Minute. If your 14-karat gold bracelet weighs 1 troy ounce, how much gold do you really have? Because gold is a soft and malleable metal, it must be mixed with another metal, such as copper or tin, to make it hard enough to endure day-to-day wear. Pure .999 gold is defined as 24 karat. So if you have a 14-karat gold bracelet, 14 over 24 means that your bracelet would be approximately 58.5% pure gold mixed with 41.5% of another base metal. So your 14-karat 1 troy ounce gold bracelet would contain approximately 0.585 ounces of pure gold. If the spot price of gold is $1,200 per ounce, your 14-karat gold bracelet, having no gemstones, would have a ballpark scrap gold value of approximately $450 to $500. Auctioneer, appraiser, and home downsizing expert Mike Ivankovich hosts What's It Worth? Ask Mike the Appraiser radio show. And you can tune in on Friday mornings from 9 to 10 on WBCB 1490 or on the internet at WBCB1490.com.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
You and your son share a passion for gaming. Take it as an opportunity to talk about underage drinking side by side.
Hey, do you ever hear kids talk about trying alcohol?
Well, this one kid said when his
If you can save the universe from alien robots, you can figure out a way to defend your kid against the dangers of alcohol. Make it game over for underage drinking. Talk with your kids about alcohol. Learn more at knowwhenknowhow.org. Sponsored by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board.
He's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Twitch. Mitch has occupational obligations. That is what's precluding him from being here today. You know that feeling all too well. You had those days back in the day. Those were the days.
They were not the days.
They were not the days.
Oh, you mean, what would you rather be doing? Cleaning up after a bunch of people wasted waffles and you didn't skip breakfast, or do you want to talk about wrestling on the air with your buddy Fearon? I'll take option number 2, please.
And what an option it is. So back to Extreme Rules, as this one was certainly one that a lot of people were unsure of how good it was going to be, but I'm sure that, good old Vinnie Mac definitely appreciated what he got out of it, that's for sure. And so too did the crowd as they got into it as well. The last man standing match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley.
See, I'm very glad that this match went as well as it did, because they got the... Like, Lashley and Strowman, it's the same thing with Lashley and Reigns. Two guys beating the snot out of each other is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Very, very entertaining.
And you don't even have to go to World Star.
No. And it's a lot. They have a lot better form.
Well, yeah, true. They have a
don't
lot
look
better form
they don't
than,
look
than
like,
World Star.
They don't look like a praying mantis with Tourette's when they try to square up. I mean, like...
Is that experience talking?
The Tourette's, yes. The praying mantis part, no.
I've seen you in the ring against some bigger guys. You definitely looked like you were praying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, my Tourette's sort of saved me from getting punched in the face by Mario Bokra on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, there was the... Yeah, in the midst of everything else, there was also the MFPW show that we did, but that's a whole nother story.
Rather entertaining.
Yeah, so Strowman defeating Bobby Lashley in that last man standing match, putting him through... I don't even know what it was in the Wells Fargo Center. I certainly hope it wasn't Gritty's locker room. Although, how great would it have been if there was a Gritty cameo?
That would be great if Gritty just he's they're battling in the hallway and Gritty just walks out with a paper and then he just silently sort of just scoots back in ugh, sorry. Didn't mean to intrude. Imagine if Gritty had hit a crossbody, they put one of the cruiserweights in a Gritty outfit and he crossbodied onto somebody.
Well, I think that would also require... Well, that's the other thing. Gritty is not a Flyers property, but an NHL property, so I don't think that WWE would want to go through the National Hockey League to get into all that. They're probably still mad at him from the Goon character 25 years ago.
How mad can they really be?
They can silently sulk.
Well, they'd be just like all other wrestling fans.
And you see how WWE responds to them, too.
I don't care. You like what I tell you to like.
No, we're not going there again. We are not. Not this time. Maybe some other time, but not now.
No, this was a very...
This is a very, very good time to... Well, I don't want to... I'm not bringing up the
all
the
commentators express their own views.
We're going there.
No,
you
don't have to play the drop. You don't have to play the drop. We don't have to
break.
play the drop. Don't play the drop, Fearon.
I'm not playing the drop.
Thank you.
That was the whole point of this. We're not moving on.
That was an ordeal. My bad.
Indeed. So we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
It is a new day. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm. It's not that I didn't want the New Day to win. It's just more that messed up my predictions.
Well, all three of us whiffed on that one. Although, as far as the last man standing goes, this was a rare instance where Mitch beat the smart kids. He was the only one who picked Strowman. You were going to, and then you changed it
to Lashley. Yeah.
And I was an idiot and picked Lashley the whole time. What was I thinking?
What was I thinking?
I don't know. You don't even know what you're thinking in a lot of cases.
Nope.
But I will say that was the first chance that I had to see heavy machinery, and Otis especially impresses me.
He's Chris Farley,
yes,
in wrestler form, and I love it.
And he's not even living in a van down by the river.
Oh no! But he just the same mannerisms when he gets excited. Mm-hmm. It's just I just really like Otis Dosovich.
Yeah, this is that is a team to definitely keep an eye on in the future. Moving on to the United States Championship, AJ Styles beating Ricochet to win the U.S. title with the help of club members Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe you didn't know they were going to be at ringside. Maybe that's why
I knew
you
they were going to be at
Ricochet.
ringside. I should have thought better. I wasn't.
Should have known better with a pick like that.
Yeah.
That's as much as I can do so I don't break Beatles copyright.
We use any more of that song, we're going to have to pay for it.
Exactly. Even in parody. But no, that was one that Mitch and I got. Then there was another unannounced match that went super duper short, 17 seconds. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
I remember seeing highlights of that one.
Yeah.
They showed the whole match. That was the highlights, yeah.
Yep. All it took was a Steiner and a pin, and Yes,
Steiner.
That's
nice. I like it.
Credit to that goes to Matt Sells.
Wonderful.
Definitely, he's
Did you
he's
see
good
the T-shirt
peoples down
design
there.
that he put out for after his whole thing at Fighter Fest? It's him laying down.
Yes.
It says Matt Sells is my hero, and I want one so badly because he is.
Yeah, no, he is definitely fantastic and hilarious and innovative, and he has a great weekly web series. It's Never Sunny in Matlanta.
And a great sense of humor. Like, honestly. There goes my heart. Don't want to get sued.
Yeah, something along those lines. All right, but yes, I'm trying to look for it now. Just to, All Cells Final on Twitter, just to give him a little bit of credit.
Please give this man a follow. He's very, very entertaining.
Absolutely, and he likes a lot of things that I do, beer and baseball.
Yeah.
Although he likes the Braves because he's from Atlanta, you know. Can't all.
I know
be
he's from Matlanta.
Well, Matlanta. I said from Matt. I just the M from and the M from Matlanta, they blended together. I didn't separate and enunciate the two words.
Good save.
Yes. So yeah, Owen's hitting but he referred to it as the Steiner, and I'm sticking
All
with
for
that.
it?
I'm all for it. That's even if it's not the official name, that's the official name in my book. Kind of like how I referred to the Saudi shoehorn, same type thing.
Yes.
It wasn't the official name of the event, but that's what we call it here. Then to the two biggies left. I was having trouble keeping count for a second. Kofi Kingston defeating Samoa Joe fairly handily in about 10 minutes to retain the WWE Championship. Although I guess not that surprisingly, because all three of us picked that one right. As we did the main event, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch defeating Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans in the last chance winner-takes-all mixed tag team match to retain the Universal and Raw Women's Championships. But wait, that was not the end of the night.
No.
As there was a spoiler that was given earlier in the night, courtesy of the aforementioned Paul Heyman.
Yes.
And Brock Lesnar did appear, and Brock Lesnar did conquer, and he did pin Seth Rollins, cashing in his Money in the Bank contract to win the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
And thus essentially create a reset button for various storylines. That's pretty much what the night was.
A reset button in wrestling. Wow. That's worked before. Well, actually, no, in this case, it might actually work.
This isn't we're just going to vacate all titles and start anew.
And
like
then give all the
WCW
titles back to the people we were going to in the first place.
Yeah, not necessarily working out that way. Now, one thing that was hyped out of, at least throughout Extreme Rules and coming out of it as well, is for this coming Monday's Raw, a Raw reunion-themed episode.
Yes.
Coming from Tampa, Florida. Now, they teased a video with teasing legends including Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon,
wow,
Diesel.
Wait, Razor Ramon and Diesel?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Rick Bogner and Glenn Jacobs. No,
but I mean, like, they didn't just advertise Scott Hall and
because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were not on Raw, quote unquote. Well, I mean, if you want to go into 2002, but nobody wants to look back in there. No, so yeah, the good old days of Raw, back when hardly anybody was watching in '95. No, but Razor Ramon, Diesel, Kurt Angle, Sergeant Slaughter, Christian, Ted DiBiase, Eric Bischoff, The Boogeyman, Jimmy Hart, Hurricane Helms, who he had himself a busy weekend. We'll get into that in a little bit. Santino Marella, Jerry Lawler, Devon Dudley, Booker T, X-Pac, and Triple H. Now, Booker T, X-Pac, and Triple H are shown in the video without graphics. They, along with Road Dogg, are listed on the host venue's website. Now, it'll be interesting to see whether The Rock or Batista appear, as both men are promoting movies. Maybe a little crossover to...
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Now, one name who will not be appearing is AEW's Jim Ross. However, it's not because he wasn't invited. Ross noted on social media, quote, "Because some are asking, I was cordially invited to attend Raw reunion by Vince McMahon, but I politely refused. Tony Khan left it up to me. Nonetheless, I hope the Raw reunion is a ratings success," end quote. So, how's about that for a shocker? Vince McMahon inviting Jim Ross to even though he's working for that other promotion, that blank ant company, as Triple H referred it, that we're gonna let you come on and make a one-time appearance, but he said no thanks, I'm good. We don't need any more colonoscopy jokes.
No,
not
at all.
Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and take care of our second timeout. We'll come back. We got a lot more news and whatnot to get into here, including a favorite of Twitch's who got into a little bit of trouble, unfortunately. We'll save it for the other side here.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I did hear about that.
Yeah, you did hear about that. Okay. Also, a little bit more of a baseball and wrestling crossover thanks to Ring of Honor, as well as some unfortunate news from a former WWE and AWA star. It's not pretty. Plus a whole bunch more stuff here, including an interesting network special event coming up next week. Yeah, it should be interesting, to say the least. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Lee Piccarello, inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to The Head Game, a must-listen show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown, Pennsylvania is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athletes to perform at the highest level of today's game. Athletes get into the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Sarah Floyd, Director of Care Advocacy, and we're Bucks County Elder Law, a life care planning law firm. It's not easy talking to loved ones or friends about long-term care. However, the reality is things happen. And people are naturally lousy planners who tend to be overly optimistic. It's no fun reminding people that they may need long-term care. One way to get people to take action is to discuss the benefits of planning versus the consequences of not planning. At Bucks County Elder Law, we empower you to make the best legal, care, and planning decisions for you and your family. We invite you to call us today at 215-493-0727 to schedule a free initial consultation and to join us each Tuesday at 9 a.m. for Senior Legal Strategies right here on WBCB, and visit our website at www.buckscountyelderlaw.com.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, July 20th. On this day in 1998, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Salt Lake City, Utah. In the main event, Bret Hart defeated Diamond Dallas Page by knockout to win the WCW United States Championship. On this date in 2004, WWE SmackDown was taped in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the main event, John Cena defeated Luther Reigns. On this date in 2008, WWE held its Great American Bash pay-per-view. In the main event, Triple H defeated Edge to retain the WWE Championship. On this date in 2014, WWE held its Battleground pay-per-view. In the main event, John Cena defeated Kane, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns in a fatal 4-way match to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, July 20th.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Ron Derry here with you alongside Twitch, who had to take an important phone call. I hope everything is okay. But we'll keep things going in the meanwhile here. So, as we had mentioned prior to the break, WWE wrestler Jeff Hardy was arrested this past Saturday for public intoxication in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, a Myrtle Beach police report states that Hardy was found passed out and reeking of booze in a public stairwell before he was arrested on Saturday. And TMZ adding that Hardy was released the same day on a, quote, less than $200 bond and later paid a $153 ticket for public intoxication. Hardy's currently sidelined from WWE while recovering from knee surgery. It's a little unfortunate. And in other not-so-good influential news, former pro wrestler John Nord was sentenced to 5 years probation following his 7th arrest for driving under the influence of drugs. The story notes that the prosecutor had pushed for Nord to be sentenced for more than 4 years in prison, but the judge opted for a lighter sentence under the condition that Nord stays in restrictive housing and does not drive. The judge told Nord, who had been diagnosed with ALS, "Life has handed you a lot of special things. On the other hand, it's taken away a lot of what made you, you." Nord's defense attorney stated that Nord is in treatment and will spend the remainder of his days in an assisted living facility. Now, Nord had wrestled as Nord the Barbarian in the AWA and elsewhere, and also had a run in the WWE as the Berserker and the Viking. Now to something a little bit more positive, Ring of Honor champion Matt Taven threw out the first pitch on Monday night's Boston Red Sox-Toronto Blue Jays game up in Fenway Park. Thankfully, the first pitch was a lot better than Johnny Fairplay's, if you remember that from a couple of months ago. But from the side view that Ring of Honor's YouTube page gave, it looked like it was a 12-6 sinker that was in there for a strike.
Good, very good.
Yeah, Taven being a longtime resident of the New England area and a huge Red Sox fan growing up, so heavyweight champion, and he gets to throw out the first pitch. Not a bad life.
Yeah, not at all.
Also, kind of an up-and-down week for a New Japan Pro Wrestling competitor, as they had issued a press release initially to announce that Will Ospreay would miss this past Monday's G1 tournament event due to injury, stating that he had suffered a neck injury and would miss action on Monday, July 15th in Hokkaido. Ospreay is not suffering from any skeletal or nervous issues. His status for the next G1 Climax event on Thursday, July 18th will be determined after Ospreay undergoes thorough medical evaluation. We sincerely apologize to fans who were looking forward to seeing Ospreay wrestle and appreciate your understanding. Thankfully, there was an announcement on Wednesday that cleared him for competition. It said, after undergoing a thorough examination, he has been cleared to return to the ring, and his match with Kota Ibushi on July 18th at Korakuen Hall will go ahead as scheduled. Ospreay is excited to return to the ring and is appreciative of your support. However, despite being cleared to return, Ospreay ended up falling to Ibushi in just over 27 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. How often do I throw New Japan stuff out there?
Not often.
I'm trying to expand my versatility a little bit.
Yeah. Moxley also just wrestled Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii, which I'm going to have to try and watch when I get home, because that was I'm hoping that was a slugfest.
Certainly should be interesting, to say the least. Also some good news from Braun Strowman. He announced via Instagram that he signed a new 4-year contract with WWE. Yeah. He said, well, I'm sure more than a few of you will like this announcement. Here's to 4 more years of being the hardest working and best big man in the whole damn industry and working for the greatest promotion in the world, the WWE. End quote. Good stuff there. Also some good stuff in that we get to hear a legendary name on the microphone twice in 1 week, perhaps. As WWE legend Shawn Michaels announcing that he'll appear on Monday's Raw Reunion and Tuesday's SmackDown Live, he'll serve as a guest commentator during Tuesday's show. Yeah, it happens to be down there in Florida, and Michaels is down there. He's a trainer in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Also, another interesting signing, this time over on the AEW ranks. They issued a press release to announce that Tully Blanchard is signed with them.
Yeah, he's going to be, they were doing the road to AEW, the road to All Out, and Sean Spears, formerly known as Ty Dillinger, was having a sit-down interview with Jim Ross, talking about him calling out Cody Rhodes. And then Tully Blanchard had whispered something in Sean Spears' ear and said, "Jim, we got to wrap this up."
Yeah, interview over.
Which I like. I like where this is going.
Yeah, the official press release said, during last night's episode of AEW's The Road to All Out, Sean Spears unveiled the ace up his sleeve in the form of legendary wrestling villain Tully Blanchard. Effective immediately, Blanchard has entered into a multi-show agreement with Spears and AEW. Blanchard, a second-generation star who is widely considered one of the most notorious and treacherous wrestlers of all time, was a member of the world-renowned Four Horsemen, the NWA World Television Champion, and holder of multiple tag team titles. This also makes for a nice addition to the Cody-Spears feud and plays off of the history of Tully and Cody's late father, Dusty Rhodes, as Rhodes feuded quite a bit with the Horsemen in the mid to late 80s. So I've got a little bit of a quick clip here, as I'm sure you will appreciate this. The 24/7 Championship. It's had a varied travel schedule, and current champion R-Truth even had to, as you'll hear here, courtesy of IGN, he had to defend the title while attending San Diego Comic-Con.
How's your Comic-Con been?
A blast. I've seen everything and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Just hoping nobody see me.
Okay, I can only imagine you are referencing the fact that you have the 24/7 championship with you.
You know what? This is a special championship.
Mm-hmm.
Very special. You know, so I had to stay incognito while I was there.
Okay, why? Is somebody gonna take it from you?
Not just somebody, anybody, everybody.
Okay.
This championship has to be defended 24 hours a day.
That sounds incredibly stressful.
But that's why they call it the 48/7, 7-11 TV champion. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
How have you been holding up personally as the champ?
Stagnant, man, because, you know what I'm saying, you can't sleep, you can't rest, you can't lay down, you can't needle nap, you can't none of that. I've had to defend this on a golf course. I had to defend it on a tarmac. I had to defend it flying at a cruising altitude of 30,000 feet, 2 degrees Celsius. And I had to ruin a guy's honeymoon and his wedding. Good thing, because he was constipated, though.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
Well, and now you're here at Comic-Con, and there's like thousands of people out there, and somehow you're managing to just blend right in?
The okey doke. I was in a costume, y'all.
Oh.
Nobody knew who I was.
Oh,
you know, look at
you're a penguin.
I was Pingy.
Kangi.
Oh, yeah, look at Pingy.
Have a whole persona.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
He's doing the penguin strut right now. I saw everybody out there.
Yeah, and the championship.
Darth Vader.
The championship is not giving it away.
No, that's what turned it away right there, the championship. But other than that, I was having a blast.
Yeah.
Comic-Con is the bomb.
Comic-Con is the bomb.
It is.
I've got to agree with you. So what have you done since you've been at Comic-Con? You obviously walked the show floor. See anything cool?
Chewbacca was giving me like a little evil stare down, like he wanted to come try to take the championship from me. But it was cool. Then I saw the Pikachus. But the weather was just like iffy out here. You know what I'm saying? The weather was iffy.
What?
Weather? Well, then I suggest you stand back, because there's a hurricane coming through.
That's a dope costume. You look like the hurricane, but you're a little too thick. Oh, that's a cool costume too, dog. We got a referee at work named John Cone. You look just like him, but he's a blonde. Y'all want a picture?
Please.
Kind of a big deal out here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, we saw it.
I'm out here, man. I can't trust nobody.
You okay?
I gotta be on my own.
Oh, watch out. Who are you?
I'm WWE superstar Drake Maverick, and don't let that man fool you. He's ruined my life. He's ruined my wedding. He ruined my honeymoon. My wife won't even let me consummate the marriage unless I win the 24/7 title.
Wow.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. You know what? Look, I'm very sorry for interrupting you.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, everyone.
Go get him.
Yeah,
get after him. Go on.
Go ahead.
So there you go, a little bit of fun from the San Diego Comic-Con as Hurricane Helms making an appearance. As
what's up with that?
What's up with that, indeed. As well as Drake Maverick trying to regain the title so that he can celebrate his marriage with his wife. And we're just leaving it at that because Ted is right over my shoulder. Yeah, what's up with that? All right, in some other news, this is something that, well, Twitch from 5 years ago would have been ecstatic over. StarCast releasing a video announcing that CM Punk will appear at the Chicago event on All Out Weekend. They're even using the slogan GTS, Get to StarCast.
Oh yeah, because they can't use it for the other reason now that Kent is back on the scene.
Exactly. Wonder how many times that weekend he's going to be asked if he's returning to wrestling in ring for AEW or anyone else. Sure, if I had $1 for every time he was asked, I could take a very lucrative vacation.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, I got to put in for some time off in late October, early November. No, we'll talk about that later.
I remember when I had my first beer.
And well, it'll be a while before I have my first in a while. Let's see here. And one other bit of news here, WWE announcing a WWE Smackville live special for the WWE Network on Saturday, July 27th in Nashville, Tennessee's Bridgestone Arena. The advertised matches, Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship, a rematch of Nakamura and Balor for the Intercontinental title, and an Elias musical performance. I think the safe bet there is that Jeff Jarrett will make an interruption on Elias's musical performance because it's in Nashville. That's just pretty much par for the course. All right, so we're down to the last 3 minutes of the show, which means it's time for...
birthdays!
You almost missed your cue.
No,
you were on. Okay. It sounded like it's been so long, it sounded like it threw you off guard. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. So we've got 2 plus 5 Brucey bonuses. Firstly, on this date in 1969, this is a very appropriate one, Michael Edwin Neil Sanders was born. The former WCW Cruiserweight champion known simply as Mike Sanders turns 50 today. And amazingly enough, Sanders was named in honor of the Apollo 11 astronauts Michael Collins, Edwin Buzz Aldrin, and Neil Armstrong, as Sanders was born on the day of the moon landing 50 years ago today. How's that for some history?
Wow.
Yeah, see, not just wrestling history, but sometimes we get some life history as well. And on this date in 1979, Raymond John Lepan was born. The former 2-time FCW champion and WWE superstar known both as Leo Kruger, but best known as Adam Rose, turns 40 today.
Yes, it is his birthday today.
Yes, it is. Now to the Brucey bonuses, things outside of the world of wrestling. On this date in 1938, Dame Enid Diana Elizabeth Rigg was born. The English actress known for playing Countess Teresa de Vincenzo, easy for me to say, in the James Bond film On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Known from my youth as playing Lady Holiday in the movie The Great Muppet Caper. And more recently, this is in your realm there, Twitch, Olenna Tyrell in the series Game of Thrones, known simply as Diana Rigg. She turns 81 today.
Yes.
Yeah, you know more about...
very great character in that show.
Oh, absolutely. On this date in 1944, this is in Ted's wheelhouse, William Neil Browder was born. The country music singer and songwriter with 14 number 1 hits on the U.S. country charts between 1974 and 86, including 8 consecutive number 1s between 80 and 82, known professionally as T.G. Shepherd. He turns 75 today. Now we're going sports for the rest here. On this date in 1973, Peter Matthias Forsberg was born.
Wow.
Yeah,
Peter
the Hockey Hall of Famer who played 13 years in the NHL, winning 2 Stanley Cup championships with the Colorado Avalanche and 2 Olympic gold medals representing the country of Sweden, known simply as Peter Forsberg, turns 46 today. Now we're getting into Ted's wheelhouse. On this date in 1988, Stephen James Strasburg was born. The highly hyped starting pitcher for the Washington Nationals turns 31 today.
He hit a homer a couple days ago.
Yeah, he did hit a homer a couple days ago. And on this date in 1996, bringing it back home, Benjamin David Simmons was born. The 2018 Rookie of the Year and 2019 All-Star point guard and forward for the Philadelphia 76ers, known simply as Ben Simmons, turns 23 today. That's going to do it for us. Teddy Faw's up next. He's back. He's got the Country Road Show, and it's coming your way in a little over 5 minutes. Until next week, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WB.